You can check every box. You can secure the degree, map out the career, build a stable network, and still find yourself standing entirely still, numb, isolated, and completely stuck in a life that technically looks correct. We are taught from a young age to seek the middle ground, to hedge our bets. We keep our options open and maintain a safe emotional distance from our work and our relationships, believing that if we never fully commit, we can never truly fail. But hedging is not a protective measure. It is an active surrender of your own potential. It leaves you trapped in agonizing stasis, vibrating with anxiety, expending constant energy just to avoid picking a side. A century ago, the philosopher and poet Khalil Gibran diagnosed this modern malaise of compromise. His words cut straight through the noise. He observed that seeking safety and partial commitments does not protect us from pain. It simply creates a vacuum where a real life should exist. Gibran warns us against letting this partiality infiltrate our inner circles. He writes, "Do not love half-lovers. Do not entertain half-friends." We see it in the way we communicate, softening our boundaries to avoid conflict. But Gibran cuts that down. If you refuse, then be clear about it, for an ambiguous refusal is but a weak acceptance. He demands absolute action. If you choose silence, then be silent. When you speak, do so until you are finished. Do not silence yourself to say something, and do not speak to be silent. Living cautiously between two poles is not a practical compromise with reality. It is a slow, unrecorded death of the human spirit. Gibran maps out the physical failure of partial effort. Half a drink will not quench your thirst. Half a meal will not satiate your hunger. Half the way will get you nowhere. Half an idea will bear you no results. This chart, labeled the zero-yield equation, visualizes Gibran's exact point. We logically assume that inputting half the effort should yield half the result. But when the effort stops at the 50% mark, watch the output bar. It flatlines at absolute zero. Partial inputs do not generate partial outputs. In the strict physics of human existence, fractional effort always rounds down to zero. When your actions yield zero results, you experience a profound emotional detachment. Gibran describes this paradox perfectly. You work and not work. You attend only to be absent. This mental absence has a severe consequence. It makes you a stranger to them closest to you, and the alienation is entirely mutual. As you detach from them, they inevitably become strangers to you. The tragedy of the unlived life is built quietly. Half a life is a life you didn't live, a word you have not said, a smile you postponed. The resulting emotional void leaves behind a love you have not had, a friendship you did not know. This extreme state of isolation is not imposed on us by an uncaring world. It happens because we refuse to fully arrive in our own lives. We spend decades searching for our other half, believing there is a missing romantic partner or external puzzle piece out there that will finally complete us. Gibran dismisses this completely. Your other half is not the one you love. It is you in another time, yet in the same space. It is you when you are not. The missing piece is simply the fully realized version of yourself that steps forward when you strip away your hesitation. The half is not a fatal flaw encoded in your DNA. Gibran calls it a mere moment of inability. It is temporary. You lack nothing. The only obstacle is the internal illusion convincing you that you are permanently broken or incomplete. The poem breaks that illusion with 4 simple words. But you are able, for you are not half a being, you are a whole. And that whole entity exists for one singular, absolute purpose, to live a life, not half a life. Hear Gibran's final warning clearly. Do not indulge in works of the half-talented, and above all else, do not die a half-death. You face an uncompromising choice. Commit entirely to your existence, or do not exist at all.